Whitney. I'm president of the Corporation for Positive Change, which is a consulting firm. We're international, and we're dedicated to collaborative advantage and bringing appreciative inquiry to some of the most pressing issues of our time. Appreciative inquiry is the study of what gives life to human systems when they're at their best. It doesn't say that we're always at our best, but what it says is that if we study what's working when we're at our best, we'll learn, we'll be able to adapt it and grow it and expand it into the world. So now here's the example. Imagine that I'm going to study stress. I'm curious about stress. We want less stress in the world, less stress in our workplace, so we decide to study stress. And what we end up learning is what causes stress, how people feel about it, what happens as the result of stress. But the study of stress doesn't give us many insights into what to do instead. And in fact, by asking people, tell me a story of a time when you've experienced stress in the workplace, what I'm doing is inviting them to go back into their memory, back into their experiences, and recall those things that are terribly unpleasant. And in doing that, I'm triggering their memory, and I'm also triggering their physical well-being. So that questions about stress create a sense of stress. It doesn't stop there, because when I ask a question, people go out and they talk to their friends about it. And so someone may have a conversation in the workplace about stress, a well-intended conversation. And they go home and they talk to their spouse. And they say, you know, we were talking about stress today at the board meeting, and it's amazing how much stress there is in our organization, and we can't seem to find a way to stop it. Well, that's stress. And the story of stress then carries over into family life. Imagine instead if I were to ask a question about joyful productivity, or a question about mindfulness at work. We want mindfulness. We know what it does to our physiology. So any other kind of question would lead people in the direction of what we want. And that's what appreciative inquiry does. It invites us to move in the direction of what we want more of, rather than move away from the problem. I'll share with you a personal story. I have a son who's now in his 40s, and he went to law school, did just fine, and after law school, graduated and went to California to, the family sort of said, make his fame and fortune in California. And after a few months, he called me and said, Mom, I don't think I'm to be a lawyer. I don't really think this is what I want to do. And I don't think I want to live in California right now. Now, as a mom, I had a repertoire of possibilities. I could respond by saying, well, what are you going to do with your life? I mean, we've all done that to our children. I could also say, what's wrong with California? But I stopped and I paused. And the first thing I said to him was, let me ask you a question. He goes, oh, Mom, don't appreciative inquiry me. I said, no, let me ask you a question. And what I did was I thought, what is it that I want more of for my son? What is it that I value and wish for him? And so I said, Brian, from the time that you were in undergraduate college until now, when have you been the happiest? And he said, Mom, oh, that's really easy. And he started talking about when he lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where we lived. And he said, and I was the customer service manager at the Whole Foods grocery store. And he told me why he was happy. It brought out his strengths. So what that story teaches us is good appreciative inquiry questions are value-based. They're what we want more of. So if we can put our values in our questions and ask a forward-moving question, we will take people and organizations in that direction. So appreciative inquiry, the topics we choose to study, we want to build upward spirals of emotion and energy and action. And so I think that's one way that appreciative inquiry links to whole system healing, is that the focus of appreciative inquiry is health and well-being. I think the second thing is appreciative inquiry is a deeply relational process. It's not about one person interviewing people and getting the story and writing it up. It's about people sitting down with each other to engage in inquiry, to understand who they are at their best. And whenever a person's story is witnessed by another, there's healing. That witnessing presence that is a part of appreciative inquiry really contributes to whole system healing. And then the third, and I think perhaps, I don't want to say most important, but appreciative inquiry is a process that allows us organizationally and in communities to take positive change to scale. It allows us to get the whole room, the whole system in the room. So when we do our work that we call an Appreciative Inquiry Summit, we invite all the stakeholders. If it's a school, the administrators are there, the faculty, the students and the teachers, the janitors, everyone, the community members, everyone whose future it is in the conversation. They're in the inquiry and the co-creation of the future. And so when we bring the whole together, we have an opportunity not just to say we're all connected in an abstract way, but we're all connected. Look at us. I believe it all starts with us. I really do. So I think taking care of ourselves is very important. Knowing ourselves and taking care of ourselves. Because my traditions, there's a phrase that says, we do these things so that people may live. And it doesn't mean that I act on the outer world and do things. It means that I act in my own realm of influence, which starts with me. I make myself a better person. I cultivate my virtues. I develop my spiritual capacities so that I am then adding those ways to the world. So I think that's a first starting point. The second starting point, 2 starting points, sneak one in here, is to be mindful that every question we ask has a ripple. Every question has a ripple. And that we want to ask questions that are positively powerful and ripple out in ways that really give hope to people and bring out their best.